The origins of ramen, a bowl full of history. Have you ever sat down with a warm bowl of ramen and wondered where it came from? That savory broth, springy noodles, and rich aroma, it's more than just comfort food. Ramen, Japan's iconic noodle soup, has a fascinating story, one that spans centuries, crosses borders, and reflects the resilience and creativity of a culture. So let's dig into the story of how ramen came to be, not just as a meal, but as a cultural phenomenon. A taste of China, a home in Japan. While many people think ramen is purely Japanese, its roots trace back to China. In fact, the word ramen may have come from the Chinese words la meaning to pull and mian meaning noodles. These refer to the hand-pulled noodles common in Chinese cooking. Chinese immigrants introduced wheat noodles to Japan in the late 1800s. During the Meiji era, a time when Japan was opening up to the world after centuries of isolation. At first, the dish was known as Shina soba, literally Chinese soba, a name that would stick around for decades before ramen became the norm. These early noodle dishes were sold by Chinese food vendors. In port cities like Yokohama, the broth was often a simple chicken base, sometimes mixed with soy sauce and served with sliced pork, bamboo shoots, and green onions. Sound familiar? These are the very ingredients you'll find in ramen today. Ramen rises during hard times, but ramen didn't become a household name in Japan overnight. It took a few twists of fate and history. Fast forward to post-World War II Japan. The country was in ruins, food was scarce, and hunger was widespread. It was during this time that wheat flour shipped in from the United States, as part of relief efforts, became more available. With rice in short supply, wheat-based noodles gained popularity. Street vendors began selling bowls of hot noodles to fill empty stomachs. These were affordable, filling, and easy to make. Ramen, as we know it, began to take shape. In a way, ramen became the people's food born out of necessity, but made with care. There's even an anecdote from the 1950s that reflects ramen's underground popularity. At the time, many noodle vendors operated illegally. Due to strict food regulations, they would roam the streets late at night, pushing carts and blowing whistles to signal their presence. People would sneak out after dark, hoping for a warm bowl of noodles. Ramen wasn't just food, it was a whisper of comfort in hard times. A bowl that changed the world. And then came a man who would change everything, Momofuku Ando. In 1958, in the small kitchen of his home in Osaka, Ando invented something that would revolutionize the food world: instant ramen. His idea was simple but brilliant. By flash frying cooked noodles, he created a product that could be stored, boiled, and eaten anytime. He launched the first instant ramen under the name chicken ramen. It was a hit. Suddenly, anyone could enjoy a hot bowl of noodles in just minutes. Students, workers, and families alike embraced the convenience. And just like that, ramen went from a street food to a shelf staple. Later, in 1971, Ando would top even that invention with cup noodles. The iconic styrofoam cup version, complete with vegetables and seasoning. It was perfect for on-the-go living, and it spread across the globe. Ramen was no longer just a Japanese dish. It had become a worldwide favorite. From humble beginnings to global fame. Today, ramen has become an art form. From Tokyo to New York, chefs experiment with regional flavors, textures, and ingredients. There's tonkotsu ramen with creamy pork broth from Kyushu, shio ramen with a clear, salt-based soup from Hakodate, and even vegan ramen popping up in trendy cities. Each bowl tells a story of its own. There are now ramen museums, ramen festivals, and even Michelin-starred ramen restaurants. But despite all the fame and flair, ramen never lost its soul. It remains a food that warms you from the inside out. Simple, satisfying, and deeply human. In the end, it's more than just noodles. So the next time you cradle a bowl of ramen in your hands, remember this: you're not just eating noodles. You're tasting history, flavored with struggle, sprinkled with innovation, and simmered in the shared experience of generations. It's a dish that traveled across oceans, survived war, fed the hungry, and adapted to changing times. Ramen, in many ways, is a story of survival and creativity. And that's why it tastes so good. Because it's not just a meal, it's a legacy.
It's time to learn new words in context. 1. Savory. Definition: savory describes food that is salty or spicy rather than sweet. It is often used to refer to dishes that are rich and flavorful. Example: The chef prepared a savory stew filled with herbs, garlic, and tender beef. 2. Springy. Definition. Springy refers to something that returns to its original shape after being pressed or stretched. It often describes texture, especially in food or materials. Example: the bread had a soft, springy texture that made it perfect for sandwiches. 3. Aroma. Definition. Aroma means a pleasant or noticeable smell, often used in relation to food or flowers. Example: the aroma of fresh coffee filled the entire kitchen. 4. Resilience. Definition. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or adapt to change. Example: despite facing many setbacks, her resilience helped her succeed in the end. 5. Stick around. Definition. Stick around means to stay in a place or remain nearby for a period of time. Example: I hope you'll stick around after dinner for dessert. 6. Norm. Definition. A norm is a standard or typical pattern of behavior that is considered usual or acceptable in a society or group. Example: in many cultures, removing your shoes before entering a home is the norm. 7. Vendor. Definition. A vendor is someone who sells goods or services, often in a market or public space. Example: the street vendor offered fresh fruit and cold drinks to passing tourists. 8. Bamboo shoots. Definition. Bamboo shoots are the edible young sprouts of the bamboo plant, commonly used in Asian cuisine. Example: the stir-fry was made with pork, bell peppers, and tender bamboo shoots. 9. Household. Definition. A household refers to all the people living in one home or the home itself. Example: every household on the street received a copy of the neighborhood newsletter. 10. Take shape. Definition. To take shape means to begin to form or develop in a clear or recognizable way. Example: her idea for the new business began to take shape after months of planning. 11. Flash frying. Definition. Flash frying is a cooking technique that involves frying food very quickly in extremely hot oil. Example: the chef flash fried the shrimp for just a few seconds to keep them crispy. 12. A shelf staple. Definition. A shelf staple is a food or product that is commonly kept in the kitchen or pantry because it is used frequently and lasts a long time. Example: canned tomatoes are a shelf staple in many households for making pasta sauce. 13. On the go. Definition. On the go describes something designed to be convenient while someone is busy or moving around. Example: she grabbed an on-the-go breakfast bar before rushing out the door. 14. Vegan. Definition. Vegan refers to a person who does not eat or use animal products or to food made without such ingredients. Example: the cafe offered a variety of vegan dishes made entirely from plants. 15. Trendy. Definition. Trendy describes something that is currently fashionable or popular. Example: the restaurant became trendy after a celebrity mentioned it on social media. 16. Michelin-starred. Definition. Michelin-starred describes a restaurant that has received a star rating from the Michelin Guide, an award for high-quality food and service. Example: we celebrated our anniversary at a Michelin-starred restaurant known for its innovative cuisine. 17. Simmered. Definition. Simmered means cooked slowly in liquid at a low temperature, just below boiling. Example: the soup simmered for hours, allowing the flavors to blend perfectly.
Comprehension questions. Part 1 multiple choice. Choose the best answer. 1. Where did ramen originally come from? A. Japan. B. China. C. Korea. D. Vietnam. Answer B. China. 2. What does the word ramen most likely come from? A. Japanese slang for soup. B. Names of Japanese noodle makers. C. Chinese words for pulling noodles. D. A port city in Japan. Answer C. Chinese words for pulling noodles. 3. Which historical event helped ramen become popular in Japan? A. The invention of rice cookers. B. The end of feudalism. C. World War II. D. The opening of Tokyo Disneyland. Answer C. World War II. 4. What major invention did Momofuku Ando create in 1958? A. Soy sauce ramen. B. Instant ramen. C. Ramen restaurants. D. Hand-pulled noodle machines. Answer B. Instant ramen. 5. What was the name of the first instant ramen product? A. Cup noodles. B. Tokyo ramen. C. Chicken ramen. D. Noodle magic. Answer C. Chicken ramen. Part 2 short answer. 6. Why did wheat noodles become more common in Japan after World War II? Answer: because rice was scarce and wheat flour was imported from the United States. As part of relief efforts, making noodles a more available and affordable food. 7. How did ramen vendors secretly sell noodles? During times of strict food regulations? Answer: they operated illegally at night, pushing carts and blowing whistles to signal customers. Who would sneak out to buy a warm bowl? 8. What innovation did Momofuku Ando introduce in 1971? That changed the convenience of ramen? Answer: he created cup noodles instant ramen in a disposable styrofoam cup. Ready to eat with hot water. Part 3 open-ended questions. 9. In your own words, explain how ramen reflects the history and culture of Japan. Suggested answer: ramen reflects Japan's ability to adapt and innovate. It began as a Chinese dish, but was shaped by Japan's history, especially post-war hardships, into something unique. It shows how food can evolve through necessity, creativity, and cultural blending. 10. Do you think ramen's global popularity changes its meaning in Japan? Why or why not? Suggested answer: answers will vary. A strong response might suggest that while ramen has become global, it still holds cultural importance in Japan. Its popularity shows the strength of Japanese innovation, but the meaning of ramen at home may remain deeply rooted in tradition and everyday life.